afternoon and welcome to this week's edition of the Capitol Report. I'm Jason Villalba, your Texas House of Representatives member from District 114. We are down to the final 2 weeks. There's a lot going on at the Capitol. It sounds like we've got a budget deal that's coming forward and we've got some tax relief headed your way. We've also passed some very interesting legislation in the last 2 weeks that I'm going to tell you about in a video from KXAN that's after this presentation. I want to tell you I look forward to you coming to see me after the session in 2 weeks, and we're going to have a town hall forum. Details to be included in a letter that will be coming to you shortly. My name is Jason Villalba. I'm your Texas House of Representatives member, and thank you so much for your support. We look forward to seeing you in the next 2 weeks, and please stay tuned to watch the video.
Well, we're winding down the days left in the legislative session. It's the time when every lawmaker is trying to get his or her major projects through. I spoke with Dallas Republican Representative Jason Villalba about what he wants to happen in the coming weeks. The discussion began with the state budget negotiations.
Well, the budget, there was some disagreements on the amounts, but I think generally the general overall concept of what we're trying to achieve, transportation, public education, border security, both chambers agree upon. So I think there is some consensus there. I know we're still wrestling over tax reform, what the tax cuts will look like. That may take us into overtime, but I doubt that. I think we're going to find a way to compromise and reach consensus with the Senate and the House and get something to the governor right away.
What's been your pet project, the bill that you really wanted to work on and see passed? How's that going?
Well, I had a project to create the very first business chancery court in Texas. This is something that other states have. It's worked well around the country. Unfortunately, I don't think there's enough time to get a bill of that magnitude across the finish line. So my second backup is a bill we passed yesterday in the House that's going over the Senate, which is the creation of an ignition interlock device requirement and occupational license for convicted drunk drivers. Currently, they don't have access to that, and what ends up happening is these people that have been convicted will drive on a suspended license. With the ignition interlock, we allow them to drive with the ignition interlock so that they cannot drive intoxicated. We think that's going to be a good bill. It was MAD's #1 bill, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers bill for the session, and we passed it out of the House, and Senator Huffman is carrying it with great enthusiasm over in the Senate. We think that one will get to the governor.
Obviously, that topic has been a big topic here in Austin. You know, we have a college town, a lot of nightlife. Do you feel like that this is something your constituents brought, or was it something that was a concern statewide?
Texas has the highest number of fatalities from drunken driving in the country. Now, we're obviously one of the largest states, but it's disproportionate to, say, Florida and New York. The reason we have that is because our laws, which are quite strong, don't provide for ignition interlocks at the earliest stages of conviction. I think with this, we can see a reduction in fatalities up to 60–65%, which is what you're seeing in other states that have adopted this kind of legislation. So we're hopeful that it really does make a difference, makes our streets safer for our families, and that we can get some good legislation done to keep Texas roads safe.
One of the issues we've talked to you about in recent months is the school marshal program. You had been looking at some tweaks to that law, and I know that there's some things going on in the Senate side as well. Kind of give me an update on that.
One of the things that we want to do is to make sure that if you are a parent, you can find out whether or not your child is attending a school that has a school marshal program. That was one of the bills that we have. We think next week it's going to come to the floor. That one is a minor tweak, just giving parents more disclosure. We think that's a good one. We've also tried to expand the school marshal program into private schools and to junior colleges. Now, those two have made it through committee, and they're in calendars now. We're still awaiting whether or not they'll move forward in the Senate. We do think it makes sense. Private schools and junior colleges have actually asked for the program, and so we're wanting to give them what they're looking for.
Are you confident that's going to go through? I'm
not confident, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I think it's good legislation. I think people do want it in the private schools and junior colleges, but anytime you deal with the expansion of an existing program that's in its infancy, there's going to be resistance. We know there's resistance in both chambers, and so we're going to have to work through that.